I'm Chris Carey, and today I want to talk to you about taking a vision that you're probably in the process of creating and turning it into a plan. I say you're probably in the process of creating a vision because I'm recording this at a time that we're emerging from our pandemic cocoons. A lot of us business owners are starting to come to life again and starting to create a vision of what we really want our business to look like going forward. Which begs the question, if you've got this vision, then how are you going to make it into a plan so that it's actionable? It's actually a lot easier than you might think. Feels a little bit daunting perhaps sometimes for those of us who don't always think in a linear fashion, but it's actually quite easy. So let's take a look. You've got a vision, and this is basically the big picture of what you want to bring into the world. And with that vision then, just taking a quick glance at it, chances are that there are some things that pop out like steps or next obvious things that you would do with that vision to bring it to life. If there's anything obvious at all about how to bring that vision to life, go ahead and write that stuff down here at the beginning. I forgot to ask you to grab a paper, but I'm glad you've remembered to do that as we're talking. All right. So we've jotted down anything that looks obvious to us from this vision about what might make it actionable. Next, we're going to look at what you've written down and see if there's anything else that pops to mind as you review it. Then you take kind of a look at like what's in between these ideas. So it's sort of like when you listen to music, sometimes the notes are really lovely to hear, and it's also the space between the notes that give you a lot of information about what you're listening to. It's kind of the same thing here with the vision. The vision is our big picture. We jot down a couple of obvious things, and then once we look at those obvious things, there's a lot of space in between them. That space is where we're going to look now and start to see what emerges as we just sit with our vision. We're like, okay, if I was going to make this vision actionable, what would come up next? Let me think about that. That's what I mean about the spaces in between the obvious stuff. So you're jotting those down now. And you're just going to keep doing these two processes over and over for a couple minutes, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And as you do that, you'll notice that some of your actions, well, number one, you're getting more actions, and that some of those actions are probably broader than is reasonable for you to take action on. So what I mean by that is that a lot of times people would write the equivalent of, I'm going to clean out the garage, rather than saying, I'm going to go tackle this couple of square feet in the garage for a few hours. So in a marketing vision plan way, that would be the equivalent of saying, I'm going to go make a whole marketing plan, which can feel kind of overwhelming and daunting, and you may or may not even know what that means in your mind's eye. Instead, we can think about something like, I'm interested in learning about this one marketing strategy and trying it out on my vision and seeing if it would be appropriate for me and for my clients. So we've got the big picture, we've jotted down a few obvious things, we've gone back through and looked at the space in between the obvious things to see where we need to fill in some of the gaps. And now you've got a list in front of you of things that, as you've gone through this process more than once, has become increasingly specific and granular. The more specific and the more granular you can make it, the more actionable your plan is. The easier it is to follow, the more the back of your brain can grok what's going on and start to take action on it. You may or may not know how to do all the actions that you've just laid out, and that's okay, because that's kind of a separate conversation. There are ways you can delegate things, ask for assistance, hire people, learn how to do stuff. That's separate from creating a plan to begin with. So right now, let's concentrate on getting your big vision in front of you and creating an actionable plan by using these steps to just know that you have what you need and have what it takes to bring your vision into reality.